back again to explain to you the stop motion mitosis assignment. All right. So when you see this assignment, this entire slideshow that you are watching right now serves two purposes. Number one, it's your direction slideshow for how to do this. And number two, it's also your submission slideshow if you choose to submit your video this way. Okay, so hopefully this all makes sense. Submitting your final product, you are going to be making a stop motion video, we hope, in this assignment. If at the end of this video, I'll tell you what to do. Well, I don't know. People who don't have stop motion will tell you what to do at the end of the video. But essentially, everybody hopefully is going to be able to make a stop motion studio video. You have two options for turning it in. The one option we're hoping works for most people because it will be easier for your teachers is that at the end of our workday on the second day, what's easiest for me is if you just come up and show me, or Mr. Douglas, just show us your videos and we'll grade it right there on the spot and type your score in right there on the spot. So choice one is to show it to your teacher. If you're an online student, you can literally hold it up to your camera and I will watch it and I will grade it. So if you can just show it to us sometime on our second work day, that would be great. And then we could just grade it in class and type your score in, done. You don't have to save anything. You don't have to upload anything. That's super nice. Choice number two, if you're not getting your slideshow done during class, if we didn't have it to grade in class, then you're going to want to save your stop motion video to your device. And then we're going to want you to upload it into this presentation and submit it. So that's your second way that you can do things. And I'll talk about that a little bit more on the next slide. So what we would want you to do is just save your video to your phone or to your iPad. And then in this slideshow, you'd open up, because you already have the slideshow open. So in this slide, you would just go insert video. And then you should be able to upload the video and paste it right into the slide. And then when you hit submit on this Schoology assignment, Mr. Douglas and I will be able to go in, open your slideshow, click on this slide and watch your video. So that's choice two of ways to submit it if you didn't get to show it to us in class. I hope that makes sense. The next two slides, and I'm not going to play these right now as I'm going through this, but these are both examples of, well, I guess I will play it. These are examples of stop motion videos that have been done in the past. So essentially what we want you to do is make us a movie of showing us two cells doing cell division and show us the chromosomes moving around in the cells during mitosis. Okay, so there's one example from the past. And as you can see here, what we want you to be doing is showing us cells. So you can pick what material you want to use for your cells. These people are using pieces of paper and pipe cleaners. You can do this so many different ways. If you're at home and you have some Play-Doh, it's kind of fun to use Play-Doh for this assignment, or we're going to use air dry clay in class. You could do this on a dry erase board, like making drawings and changing it and taking pictures. You could just do this with a drawing on a piece of paper, making different drawings and taking pictures. If you can think of any other way to show this or materials that you can use, but you're going to have to figure out what you want to use for your cytoplasm in the cell, and then you're going to want to figure out what you want to use for your chromosomes. Chromosomes could be pipe cleaners, they could just be drawn on a piece of paper, they could be pieces of string or anything else you might have around your house if you're doing this at home. So you got to figure out what you're using for your cytoplasm and what you're using for your chromosomes. This is another example. We're also going to want you to do, this one's going by really fast. Well, if I had a critique of this one, it's going by too fast, we would want to slow this down. All right. We'll even have time to watch it again here. But what you'll see is the chromosomes moving around. We want you to show us each phase and label each phase when you're doing your movie. Okay, so you can go back into the slideshow and rewatch these examples if you need to. Hopefully, kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking for here. So to start to do this, you will need to have a smartphone or an iPad or a tablet that you can go to either the Android store or the iTunes store and download Stop Motion Studio. It has this blue icon. There are other stop motion programs, so if you have something else that will work, that's fine with us. Also, if you can't download, if you only have a Chromebook, you could just make us a plain old movie of this process. You could do that. Or you could do a drawing and just submit a drawing instead. So those are your other options. Probably contact your teacher if you're not able to do the stop motion studio thing. Okay, it's really fun. Most kids really enjoy this. It's kind of fun to make little stop motion movies. Also here, there's a link to the printable copy of the notes. If you can't remember the phases of mitosis or what they look like, you're going to want to click on this link to open it. And also here is the grading checklist. I'll go into that at the end and kind of tell you what we're going to base your grade on. So to start making your movie, you open up Stop Motion Studio. You're going to hit the plus to start creating a new movie. Once you get into movie, there's all kinds of little controls. You guys, kids are pretty good at figuring out how to use this without much direction. So this little button goes back. You can add voiceover. You can add music to your video. You can add credits. You can change all kinds of settings. You can make slides play for longer. You can do all of that. In order to do this down here, if you're going to get a whole string of the individual pictures you're taking, if you double tap this, you can move slides around. You can copy and place slides. If you make a mistake in taking a picture, you can delete slides. This button is to add pictures. They have an undo button. And then when you want to see what your movie looks like, you can use this button to hit play. So I would say just go in there and play around with things for a couple of minutes. Most kids are pretty good at figuring out how to work this program. So the big thing here that some people had problems with, you're going to get a whole string of pictures that you have taken. So again, you can hit the double tap button. It'll give you this little menu. You can select slides. You can cut them. You can copy and paste if you want to change the orders of things. Sometimes people will record their whole movie and they'll have the phases in the wrong order or something. You don't have to start all over. You can just copy and paste slides into a different order if you want to. You can erase them. You can replay them in reverse, which is kind of crazy. So there's all kinds of, if you tap that bottom thing twice, there's a whole big menu that will pop up. When you are done, finally to share your movie, you're going to have to hit the back button first. And then once you hit the back button, you can do the export icon, and then it should give you the option to save the video to your device. Okay, there's multiple ways you can export it. Also, you can export it to your Google Drive and save it and get a link and share the link with me. But I think the easiest way, number one, the easiest way is not to have to export it at all, is just to show us your video on your device before you leave class. That's the easiest way to do it, honestly. But if you can't show us your video during class time for whatever reason, you were absent, you're doing this later, you want to export it and try to save it to your device. And then again, you want to open up the slideshow, go to that second or third slide and just insert your video onto that slide and then submit it to us in Schoology, and we should be able to see your video and get it graded. Okay, last but not least here, I wanted to go back to the helpful links and open up the printable copy of the mitosis checklist. Oh, I opened up the wrong one. I want the grading checklist. So yeah, so there is this notes page with the phases and what happens in each phase. That might be helpful as you're creating your video. And then here is your checklist. Before you begin, you need to know what will you use, what material are you using for chromosomes, what material are you using for cytoplasm, how many chromosomes will you have? Like if you can do 4 to 6 chromosomes, that's great. You're going to start your movie with 4, let's say, duplicated chromosomes. Each cell is going to end up with 4 individual chromosomes, okay? So we want you to show interphase in the video correctly. That's worth 5 points. And then you need to have little cards or something. You need to have labeled each phase in your video. Then you're going to show us prophase. And if you can kind of show us the intermediate steps, how does the cell get from interphase to prophase? That's the challenge, and that's a good thing to be able to show us. And then, did you show prophase correctly, and is it labeled? Did you show metaphase correctly? Is it labeled? And basically, it's just all the phases. Did you show it correctly, and is it labeled? All right. And then we kind of throw 5 points on the end there for presentation and creativity. We want you to have a little fun with this, but the most important thing is showing the phases in order and showing the phases correctly. Number one problem I see is in anaphase, people don't divide it correctly. So remember, your chromosomes are going to line up in the middle in metaphase, and then half of them go this way, half of them go this way, and then that pinches apart to form the 2 new cells. All right. I recommend just having 4 chromosomes in your cell. So make sure you start with 4 duplicated chromosomes, and you'll end up with 4 single chromosomes in each new cell that's formed. Hope that makes sense. All right. That's it. If you have questions, please email Mr. Douglas or myself. Good luck. Have fun. Thanks for watching the directions.